And one of the things we have to deal with in life is resistance. And I want to just touch on this subject of resistance. A lot of people are feeling right now this resistance showing up in their lives. And resistance shows up in so many ways, right? It shows up in our personal life. It shows up in our professional life, right? Resistance can show up in relationships when you don't want to particularly mix with somebody and you've got to deal with a difficult conversation. You know, you've got to make friends with somebody, you've got to make amends with somebody. There's a family member maybe, and then you have to deal with them. And you come up with this resistance because you don't really want to mix with them. You don't really want to apologize to them. You really don't really want to do this or that. So resistance shows up there. Resistance shows up. Have you faced it in work? Maybe you faced resistance in your work life, right? You know, you got this big challenge coming up, or in your business, and you don't really want to do that challenge. So resistance is showing up because resistance is a sign that you're reaching the threshold of your comfort zone or your tolerance level. And when you reach the threshold of your comfort zone or tolerance level, you start to get this feeling that you don't want to go there. And this feeling shows up in different ways for different people, right? It can show up as self-sabotage, inner critic, negativity, talking yourself out of it, tricking yourself that it's way harder than it actually is, or any of these above things or other things. So maybe in your life you felt this way, that resistance is showing up for you somewhere, personally, professionally, in your business or in your health. So what to do about it? What can we do to help to tackle resistance? I want to invite you to start to become aware when resistance shows up. Have you ever noticed, you know, those sensors that you have, the security sensors? If you've had one of those security sensors, or if you've got an alarm at home, when you start walking within a certain distance of that perimeter, that security sensor triggers. Have you noticed that? So just in the same way that an alarm, a house alarm, has sensors, and when somebody walks within the range of those sensors, it starts to flash or starts to trigger. In the same way, start to program your mind, your conscious mind, to be able to detect that resistance. Like a sensor, program your mind to become a sensor to detecting when resistance is showing up in your life. Just this very conversation, this act of talking right now, is going to give us the opportunity to start to recognize where resistance is showing up. And listen, you know, nobody's free of this, right? We all face resistance. I faced resistance in my business when I left my corporate career to do this full time. When I was doing coaching and consulting and all of this training and well-being and mindset and spiritual stuff, I was doing that all on the side. When I transitioned to do it full time, I faced a hell of a lot of resistance. Am I going to get money? Is it going to work? Am I going to earn anything? Am I going mad in my late 40s to do this? I mean, why am I even bothering right now? I should be doing something else, playing it safe, playing it comfortable. So all kinds of resistance showed up, not least to mention that I haven't had the entrepreneurial spirit within my DNA. It's not there. I'm used to getting a paycheck, being employed, right? So all kinds of resistance shows up. It shows up in my personal life when I'm exercising, training. I don't want to carry a rucksack and walk for 5,000 steps. But when that what I've done, the difference is, the one thing that I've done differently, I'm no better than any of you, is that I've deliberately programmed my mind to become a sensor to recognize when that resistance shows up. And when I recognize that it's shown up, I want to start, I treat it differently. Instead of saying, well, that's it, it's over. I'm going to look at that resistance and say, what's going to happen if I push myself and get on the other side of that resistance? So I've started to take the attitude of curiosity, and that's what I want to invite you to as the second strategy. One, become an early warning detection system. Become a sensor. Program your mind to detect when resistance shows up within your perimeter, life, personal life, business, whatever. And secondly, start to get curious instead of fearful. See, this is another amazing thing. Gratitude and curiosity are two good antidotes to resistance. So either get grateful that you're in the position where this is showing up, because sometimes resistance with a loved one also is a great way to remind you that you should be grateful that they're in your life, right? Sometimes resistance in your work is a great way to remind yourself that you've got a job, right? So think about how you can inject gratitude or curiosity to get over the other side of that resistance. That's how you get over that resistance. And then you can cross that threshold, and on the other side of resistance is greatness. On the other side of resistance is success. On the other side of resistance is progress and growth. And that's what I try and teach through Stress to Success. You know, the corporate brand to urban spirituality, Stress to Success is all about facing that stress, facing that resistance, overcoming it, and then starting to find success in your life. So I hope that's helped. I hope that's something that you can take away, use, practically apply. Just going to check my sensor and see what's going on here. So I'm going to leave you with a little sing-song before I chill out for the evening as well. So this is rough. I haven't practiced it. I haven't even warmed up my voice, and I haven't practiced the song, but I just love it. So I'm going to sing it, and it's all about facing resistance and rising up. Okay? When I am down, when I am down, and oh, my soul's so weary, when troubles come, and my heart burden be, and I'll still wait here in the silence till